Okay, so look, for weeks, I have been trying to find somebody who is covering the Greg Leone case, like live streaming it or whatever, so I can keep up on it. Greg Leone that's another South Carolina case that has all of the usual suspects from the Alec Murdaugh case. And so I was like, plenty of people are covering it like in the newspaper and stuff, or they'll give like a 2-minute segment, but I want to know every single thing that happened in court every single day. Okay. So the case has been decided, and I know what the verdict is, but I still need to know the process because this case has everything, absolutely everything, and we have to talk about it. But first, you have to remember to like this video. Don't wait at all. Like this video right now and subscribe to the channel. Okay, so look, please don't start with me, dogs. I have the crown on today. It matches my shirt. I just made this one because I spun this yarn. It's like hand spun. I made it myself. And I don't know. I was sitting here and I was like, oh, this crown matches my shirt. So I'm going to wear it today from a video. Anyway, girls, they're out of their minds. Okay, so look. Holly, Daisy, stop. The Greg Leone murder trial. I will not be dissuaded. I will not be stopped. I will not even stop if my throat gets dry. So look, Greg Leone murdered his wife. That's the bottom line. And I was like, okay, so clearly he's a terrible person. But no, he's not a terrible person except for that unfortunate murder that he committed, which apparently sometimes that happens. Let me give you the background. The thing that drew me to this case, number one, is the people who were in it. Lieutenant Greg Dove was there on the cell phone evidence. He was given information. And then Dig Harpootlian is there. Eric Bland was there. Here's the thing that's crazy. Dig Harpootlian and Eric Bland are on the same side in this trial. That alone, I was like, oh, they used to like each other? They know each other? They've known each other for years because this murder happened 7 years ago. Okay, I'm going to break it down. Greg Leone, I made notes. Greg Leone's family owns the San Jose restaurant chain there in South Carolina. Apparently, Greg comes from big guacamole money. His daddy started the restaurants 40 years ago in Atlanta. Then they brought them to South Carolina. He's got 8 restaurants in South Carolina. I don't know how many there are in Atlanta, but everybody knows the San Jose restaurant chain. And I'm like, is it more like Taco Bell, or is it more like Olive Garden, or is it more like Ruth Chris Steakhouse? Unclear. But it's a popular restaurant chain. They're all over the place. Everybody knows them. So Greg and his nice wife came to this country. They're natives of Mexico. And Greg's daddy started a restaurant empire. Greg has been working in this business. His brothers, the whole family works in the restaurant business. Greg's been married to his wife for 26 years and they have 6 kids. That's a lot of kids. The youngest child at the time of the murders was like 7 years old. That child is now in high school because it's taken a very long time for this case to come to trial. So look. Greg's married to his wife, and as far as he knows, yes, he works too many hours. Like on average, 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. That's a lot of hours. But as far as he knows, everything is going fine. Except for his wife has a teensy little drug problem. Now, they did not say what her drug of choice was because I wanted to know. I was like, what was she into? Was she into weed? Was she into wine? Was she into oxys? Is it cocaine? Is it heroin? What is she like? So they ain't tell me. I wish they would. I imagine if I look, I could find it, but I really am not that interested in looking that hard. So Greg was like, she up to something. She's spending a lot of money and she's never home. But Greg, maybe she was lonely because you never came home from work in the evening. So whatever. So he suspects his wife is up to something and they have a talk about it. She's like, well, who? Me? No. You have that all wrong. Fine. So he does what you do. He put a tracker on her car. Now, if it was me, I would just track her phone, but whatever. He puts a tracker on her car and he starts finding out things. Number one, she has a young lover that's like 20 years younger than her. Okay, good for you, Mrs. Leone. The lover, Arturo Bravo, is an undocumented person in this country. Okay, fine, whatever. That happens. Don't love it, but it happens. Okay. This Arturo has been known for seducing younger women who have money so they can support his lifestyle. So I'm like, oh, he's a gigolo. Okay. Do you, Arturo, because you got to make money somehow. I don't know what the drug connection and this young lover connection are, but I thought that there was some connection between the two, but now I can't find any evidence of that. Okay, fine. So Mrs. Leone is getting it in with Mr. Arturo over there, her little side piece. And she's like, oh, Greg, no, I'm not doing drugs no more. And he's like, I was tracking her car and her phone and surveilling all the surveillance footage because I didn't want her to get high. Sir, if she want to get high, ain't nothing in the world you could do to stop her. Trust and believe. So he says he was just tracking her because of that. Then he finds out that the undocumented young man is driving a brand new Toyota Tacoma. That's a truck. And it has like all the trucky stuff on it. And so he's all excited, the boyfriend all excited because his young rich sugar mama just bought him this nice truck. So Valentine's Day rolls around. Oh, wait. And Mr. Arturo, the boyfriend, has a roommate who is also his lover. Okay, you just passed it. I guess if she got a husband, you can have a little side piece. Interesting thing about the roommate slash lover, whose name escapes me just now, is also a transgender woman. This case has everything. So, Arturo and Mr. Leone's wife on Valentine's night. Now listen, it's Valentine's night. Mr. Leone is like, everybody, all the kids, all the grandkids, come on, let's go to Carrabba's for dinner. I don't know what Carrabba's is. And is that similar to your Mexican restaurant? Is it something else? Don't know. We don't have them here. But they're at Carrabba's at dinner. And Mr. Leone is like, why does Heather keep getting phone calls? Because it's like, ring, she answers the phone. Ring, she answers the phone. Her phone's going on and on and on and on. And he was like, what is she up to? Is she getting drugs? What's happening? So the dinner breaks up. Everybody goes home. And Mrs. Leone tippy toes right out the house. Mr. Leone is like, oh, let me see where she's going. I'm just going to get right here on my phone. So he gets on his phone, launches the app, and was like, oh, the heifer is at the park and ride. Why is the heifer at the park and ride? She's probably getting drugs. Now, this is his story. She's probably getting drugs. So he jumps in his car, speeds over to the park and ride, and he pulls up, and he sees his wife's Mercedes. Nice car. He's driving a Range Rover. Everybody in this story has nice cars, apparently. He's driving his Range Rover. He pulls up to the Toyota Tacoma, and he sees Mr. Bravo and his wife in flagrante. They getting it in. They doing the whole oochie coochie right there in his truck. Number one, how spacious was the back seat? Were they in the bed of the truck? I have questions. Is she half a gymnast? Was everything? But they were both butt naked in a truck. Do you get demonetized for saying butt naked? Anyway, they are all the way, no clothes on. All they wearing is a smile, right? And so he's like, get off my wife, blah, 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 blah. He's screaming and freaking out, right? So Arturo, the lover, according to Mr. Bravo, he believes that Arturo is reaching for a gun. I don't know what Arturo was reaching for, but Mr. Leone fills his behind full of lead. Oh, he just shoots them all up. Shoot, blah, 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 blah. And it's not like, well, maybe he shot him, maybe it was a drive-by, maybe something else. There were video cameras in the park and ride, and so you see Mr. Arturo walk up, say something, because it's silent, you can't hear anything. He grabs the gun, takes a stance, and like, boom, 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 fills this dude full of lead. And I'm like, oh. He wanted to make sure. And then the wife is like, oh, what are you doing? Whatever. And Arturo calls 911 and he was like, hello, 911. This is, not Arturo calls 911. Greg Leone calls 911. He's like, 911, this is Gregory Leone, owner of the famous, what's the name of it? San Jose Restaurants. Have you had our queso? It is really quite fantastic. Listen, I'm here with my wife and her lover, and I just shot them up. He was giving it to my wife, and I gave it to him with my gun. You might want to send somebody. And they said, sir, exactly what happened? Where are you? And he was like, we're at the parking ride at such and such address. Come now, click. Won't answer any other questions. He's not going to do CPR. The dude dies. So fine. And so Mr. Leone is very upset. His wife, turns out, was not high, unless it was like an endorphin high. She was high from getting stuck by a 20-year-old, and who wouldn't be? Anyway, child, all that energy, who got that? Anyway, so Mr. Leone is like, oh, so, I've just killed a dude. This is probably not gonna go good for me. But one of my best friends and attorneys is Eric Bland. I've known Eric forever. Eric has helped me with the restaurants. Eric knows my family. I'm going to call none other than Eric Bland. Okay, great. So he calls Eric. He's like, Eric, my dude, listen, I just shot and killed Rachel's boyfriend and help. And so Eric is like, okay, no problem. Come to my office. They come to his office. They talk and they're like, okay, tell me what happened. Greg says the whole story. They're like, okay, where's the weapon? And he was like, oh, you need that? I didn't realize because I thought, when I was on my way over here, I threw it out the window. And Eric was like, wait, what? He was like, well, yeah, there was a field. I had a gun. I was nervous and I don't know how this is going to go. So I just threw the gun out the window. Eric was like, no problem. We'll deal with that later. But I don't do criminal defense. I do other stuff. Unclear what. Oh, he sues people. He's a plaintiff's attorney when people have Eric is like, we love Eric Bland, but he's an ambulance chaser. So he's like, if you're in a car wreck, I'm your dude. If you got hit by a train, slip and fall on the grape at the ShopRite. Oh man, I'm your dude. But shoot up your wife's boyfriend, I'm not your dude. But I know somebody who is. So he's like, Dick Harpootlian, my good friend, also state senator, Dick Harpootlian. This is before they hated each other. So Greg Leone, Eric Bland, go over to Dick Harpootlian's office and he oils his way through the door because he oily AF. And he was like, okay, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to call the police. You're going to turn yourself in. It's all going to be fine. And Greg was like, I don't know if I want to wait. What? And Eric was like, nope. You listen to Dick. Dick is a good man. He knows what he's talking about. This is how you could tell this was a long time ago. So they talk to the police, they do whatever. And then Eric is like, I am your friend because I am your good friend. I cannot be your lawyer, but I will escort you. So Eric escorts his very good friend, Greg Leone, down to the police station where he turns his where he turns his body in. He ain't got the gun to turn in. So they ask him some questions or whatever. And Eric is like, okay, go ahead and tell them about the gun and tell them this, whatever. I don't know how that all went down. But Mr. Leone is like, so listen, I was nervous. I'm not used to murdering people. And so on my way here, I just threw the gun out the window. And the cops were like, great, if you'll just tell us where that was, then we're going to put you these nice bracelets, these little handcuffs, and we're going to take you in the back and fingerprint you, whatever. So then he comes up for the bond hearing. Now, the bond hearing is online, and I was just watching it breathlessly. And Mr. Leone is a fine, upstanding citizen of the community. He has helped so many people. But he's gotten in a skosh of trouble with the law, mostly federal charges. And I was like, what exactly was he doing? Well, he hired some undocumented workers in his restaurants because he's a good man and he gives to the people. He supports 7 or 8 families down there in Mexico, where he's from. He sends money to families like here in the local area. Somebody came to him and was like, my house is about to be foreclosed. He paid off their house. He's a good dude when he's not shooting people. But all that goodness takes up time. That's probably why his wife had her a lover and was on drugs. I don't know. So they pull the wife up there and they're like, ma'am, do you want to see him in jail? And she's like, no habla the good Inglés. And so they were like, oh, Greg's sister can translate. So Greg's sister is translating. And then they were like, we also brought this random police officer that we don't really know, but he also speaks Spanish. And so Judge, he's going to listen to their conversation because obviously these 2 women know each other. And this random police officer is just going to confirm that the translation is happening correctly. And the judge was like, that sounds great. Wait, this is what I don't understand. Okay. I live in a diverse area and there's plenty of people who speak literally any language you could think of and probably some you can't. Are our Hispanic brothers and sisters thin on the ground down there in South Carolina? Y'all couldn't come up with an interpreter that's not like a police officer who also happens to what? Listen, as an aside, my cousin is on a mission trip this week, right? And so she's going to Mexico. And I was like, girl, is it at a spa? Is it at an all-service, luxury hotel? She was like, no, it's in a city. And I'm like, that's your vacation? Okay, whatever. I would go on a mission trip and I would minister to all the workers in the spa while they brought me more umbrella drinks. But just taking time off work, using my precious vacation days to go and help the sick and needy child, you just write a check. They don't take Venmo. Okay, whatever. So anyway, so my cousin was saying I have to learn Spanish, but I don't have time. There's no place to practice. And I was like, just go outside in public to the store. She's like, no, we don't have a lot of Hispanic speak. Really? Okay. I just assume people who speak Spanish are everywhere, but whatever. So, They had trouble finding an interpreter, so this is the method that they went with. And everybody in the community stood up and they're like, he helped me, he helped me, he helped me. And the judge is like, you seem like a good dude. I'm going to write you a bond and you could go on and you could keep working and going to church and doing all whatever you do. So that's what they did. So for 7 years, this man has been free and just been out here in these streets doing whatever. Child, he finally went to trial. And everybody was like, okay, he's a good guy, maybe. And apparently Eric negotiated a deal for him. Eric was like, look, there's no degrees in murder in South Carolina. Either you murdered somebody or you didn't. There's no first degree, second degree, whatever. Now, if there's like malice or forethought or whatever, what the rest of us would call first degree murder, they're just like, that's, murder with some sauce on top. I don't know what name they call malice murder. I don't know. So they're like, are you going to get murder with extra sauce or murder plain? And so he was like, which I think murder plain is more like manslaughter. He was like, no, I trust the American system. Sir, that's where you went wrong. But he was like, I trust the American system. I will go. I will tell my side of the story. This young dude who was not even supposed to be in this country was giving it to my wife after he gave her a truck from Toyota. That's a good truck. It's going to last him for his whole life. It did last him for his whole life. About a day. Anyway, so they were like, okay, you should probably take this plea to murder light. And he was like, I will not. So 7 years go by and the case comes to trial like 3 weeks ago. And apparently at first it was going well. He ended up getting rid of Eric. Eric can't be his lawyer because, ambulance chaser. Dick Harpootlian can't be his lawyer because scum of the earth. And so he got like the finest defense attorney in all the land. And everybody is like, oh, that guy is amazing. If you have him, oh, you're definitely going home. And he was like, yeah. I'm a rich dude and I'm a minority in South Carolina. I'm sure I'll be fine. And I was like, sir, you're a minority in South Carolina. Take the plea. But he ain't hear me because I didn't know him 7 years ago. So whatever. So he goes to court. He's sitting there looking all respectable. He's significantly older. This dude's been dead for 7 years. The wife hasn't even divorced him. That is amazing to me. They are both very understanding of one another, but okay, whatever. So it goes to court. And then all these other little details about this oopsie murder come out. Now, if you say it was heat of the moment, it was just some passion. Yeah, that sounds about right. Little problem. Greg threw the gun away, but he did go and tell the police where the gun was. Okay, great. That's excellent in your favor. Then he went to Arturo Bravo's roommate, not knowing that this roommate was also his secret lover, and was like, hey, girl, how you doing? Oh, you look kind of broke. Let me run something by you real quick. So this is what I'm going to need you to do. If you need some money or a house or a job, I might be able to help you with that. Wink, wink. So listen, when you go to court, this is what I need you to do. I need you to say that Arturo was a gigolo and he used to beat you up and he intimately assaulted you, the R word, with a gun to your head, and he was into inappropriate pictures of children and all these other terrible things. And the roommate was like, yes, I am a transgender woman, and yes, I'm on hard times, and yes, like these other things that might work against me in this community are present, but what I'm not going to do is lie to the man who killed my lover, because Greg Leone did not know that this roommate was also Arturo's lover. So the lover, again, Sophia, child, don't get me the line, I don't know her name. The roommate was like, great, let me use my bra recording. So the roommate went to SLED and was like, SLED, y'all, you see what he's doing? He's trying to get me to lie. They were like, great, have another conversation with him and get him to repeat it again and we'll record it. So she said, great. And so she got him to repeat all these lies. She's like, tell him this and this and this and this and this. And here's your $500. Only $500? And did she get to keep it? Because you could always use a spare $5. I can use a spare $5 right now. Anyway. So she takes her bra recording out and she goes and she gives it to the cops. So now here they are in court thinking, we got this on lock. He was like, oh, you have the recording? I was not aware. Had I known that the heifer was recording me, I would have not encouraged her to lie to law enforcement. I'm sorry. But did I tell you that the dude was naked in a brand new truck with my wife? It still had that new car smell. Now, not after I filled him full of lead, it had some bullet holes. But they probably just hosed that down and sold it at auction. Since the truck was only a day old, I'm sure they got a good price for it. Can I go home? And so, the jury was like, wait, you threw the gun away, you tamper with evidence, your wife didn't divorce you, y'all got 7 kids, 6 kids, too many kids, a lot of kids. Okay, sir. So the jury takes all of this in and takes it under consideration and deliberates for 3 to 4 seconds. And then they were like, yeah, guilty. You did that. What you want from us? You come up here, we see you on videotape taking his stands and shooting a dude and doing all the things. Sir, you can't. This is South Carolina. And we do believe in shooting evildoers. Oh, yes, we do. Now, listen, if you jaywalk in South Carolina, they might just fill you full of lead on principle because they are gun-toting folk. But what you can't do is premeditate and try and talk this person into lying twice. They have him on tape twice trying to get this woman to tell this crazy made-up story. They're like, oh, the boyfriend was terrible. And after a while, Mr. Arturo was busy. He just sent his agent, his friend, to go bribe this witness. So the friend was like, listen, let's get our story straight. This is what you need to tell them. Here go the roommate doing too much. Oh, but that would be a lie if I said that. And so Mr. Leon's agent was like, that's hilarious. You want this money and not have fun. And so she was like, yes, and please, and thank you. So she stuck the money in her bra, probably next to her gun and her recording device. And then she went on, gave it back to Sled. And then she had a nice dinner that night because, you know, she had $500. She probably paid a little bit on her rent, bought some steaks, lobster, whatever you do with $500 spare dollars that just comes to you out of the blue. So Greg Leone got convicted. And he was very, very sad. Now, the truth is, they could have L-WOP'd his behind. But because so many people in the community loved him and thought he was wonderful and whatever, the judge was like, I am going to give you the minimum sentence. And he was like, oh, great. And the judge said, 30 years. That's a long time. This dude is in his 50s, but he was out for 7 years, just roaming these streets and doing whatever and eating all of his good queso. I wonder if they have guacamole there. Do they have the kind where they make it at the side of the table? Oh, I love fresh made guacamole. So anyway, Eric Bland was on his podcast the other day, like, I'm very sad. And I know my friend is a good guy. He would never, ever, ever kill anybody else except for the dude who was giving it to his wife. Eric, sir, I love you. You know I'm an Eric Bland fan. But killing the dude who was giving it to your wife, that's still illegal. Because while it may be immoral to spend your time with somebody else's wife while you're naked, you can't shoot them while they're naked and then claim self-defense. What was he going to pull out his butt crack gun? Nah, he had nothing. The weapon he had was in your wife already. So, you going to jail for a long time. I'm so sorry for you. I hope they have, listen, watch him become like the Mexican food king of San Quentin or wherever they sent him. I don't know the names of the prison in South Carolina because I'm not going. I'm not looking them up. I don't need to know that much about prison. But if this man has real skill and talent, he will make his way. He already has a lot of money. They can just fill up his commissary every week. He can get all the food he wants. And he can make some cheesecakes and ho-hos and fluffy whatever. He's not going to be eating ramen in prison. He's not going to be eating the bologna. He's going to make a good meal. But wait, the most horrible part of this case, in my opinion, aside from the murder, because that was unfortunate, was that when they had him in jail, they had him in the jail garb. It's like a smock, like it looked like scrubs. On the back of it in big giant letters was the size of the smock that you're wearing. So here he is walking around with a big 2XL on his back. Listen, I'm not going to commit crimes just for that reason alone. No matter what my size is, I need you to have an S on my back, or a S for small, or T for teensy. Oh, she's so skinny. We couldn't find, and everything just hangs on her. Listen, give me a 75XL, but still put an S on the back saying it's small. Don't be out here with my size. Why don't you just put my bank account and my weight on it? That is rude. Do they do that everywhere? I can't do prison. I can't do it. Can't do it. Anyway, I needed to talk about Greg Leone. And now you have heard all about Greg Leone. Please like and subscribe. I'm getting so good at reminding people, right? I'm trying to get like my analytics to look like I want them to look. So like and subscribe and comment and share. I'm not trying to be bitchy. Like some people are so bossy and I'm trying not to be bossy, but if you could do those things, it would really, or just send cash. Listen, just click the little button wherever it is. I don't know how it works. Just send like loads of cash. That works too, but you don't have to pay me nothing. I do this just for fun. All right. Y'all have a good day and I will talk to you later. Bye.